Yeah, Hard. It's the most toxic list. The extremely toxic one. Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. So do you need to... But anyways, yeah, how's it going? Everyone, hope in terms of toxic stalling, let's go. Yeah, dude, are you ready for 300 turns of toxic stalling while Britney Spears' Toxic plays in the background? I'm not, because that's going to give me the MCA. But anyways, yeah, I felt like poking at the community, because Twitch chat was so toxic in the stream last night. I was like, God, how are you all being like this when the production was so good? Yeah, hope everyone's doing well today. Chandler, you better not unplug the computer. I see your head right by the power button. Okay, she understood the assignment. Yeah, we're doing poison types today. I apologize for not doing this yesterday, but I figured people would want to watch World Stream if they were going to watch Pokemon content, so... Gosh, she's being such a goober right now. Hold on. Chandler. Yeah, hold on. I'll post... You know, let me show you guys real fast. I can pull this photo up in my Discord real quick, or in a Discord for me, so I can at least show you guys on stream. Just make sure that there's nothing you shouldn't see real fast in it. Okay, yeah, you guys are good. World and streamer games. I'm not familiar with what streamer games was. By the way, yeah, I mean, I figured that yesterday was just not a good day to stream because I've been so distracted with other stuff. I kind of forgot about Worlds. Anyways, hold on. Let me show the Chandler picture real quick, like of how cute she was. Me. It's something Ludwig Coast lips. Okay, I see. Yeah, no, I was definitely not getting attention then. Yeah, Chandler being adorable, as always. Love this cat. She's my little baby. Cat. It is cat. Also, hello, Nem. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that little corner with the light, like right there, that's roughly where my power button is, so... And she was rubbing her head against it. I'm like, oh, please don't press it in. Also, hello, Luna. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, let me go ahead and get the music started at least. Okay. You guys have to tell me how the music is, by the way. But anyways, we're doing poison types today. And then, as always, with, also, I guess it's because it's blocked off by the donation goal, the stream will end up in one basically, she actually has, like, not with her head, but, like, with her paw, like, pushed my power button in deep enough to where she has just turned off my computer, and I'm like, oh. Unfortunately, I just can't keep her off of it, because, like, she likes how warm it gets, so it's very comfortable for her. But I'm usually fine to let her, like, lay on the computer, but I don't like it when she lays on the cables behind it, because she is big enough to where she has... The cables have just fallen out. Yeah. We're doing double S all the way down to U/I don't remember this Pokemon ever existing. I don't know how many there's going to be for this category in specific, but we'll see. Yeah. As always, if people want me to rank a certain Pokemon in specific... or a certain Evo line, I am more than willing to just jump to that line, but otherwise I'm probably just going to start, like, in a order, unless I feel like jumping to something myself. But anyways, let's go ahead and I guess just get started. So I'll probably start with... I was going to say I was going to start with Bulbasaur, but I actually realized that's not true. I want to start with the V-Drill line. And unironically, I love Beedrill. I think Beedrill is sick. It's like probably one of my favorite bugs, favorite poison types. I don't know if it's gonna stay. It might be S. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but we'll see. I don't care as much for Weedle. Weedle's just like okay. And then same with Kakuna. Speaking of, Chandler, I just heard her hiss at Betty. That scared me. We'll probably hear Betty running upstairs in a little bit, just to fight. Yup, there they are. They're the girls. I mean, I'm saying that as right with regular Beedrill. I also love Mega Beedrill. Like, I don't know. They just aren't like. I think the idea of just like a bee Pokemon is cool, but I'm like, it's another worm. If Caterpie did not exist, I'd probably like Weedle a lot more. And Kakuna just again, and kind of feels like in that same boat. Like if it wasn't for Metapod, I'd probably like Kakuna a lot more. Yeah, that's at least my take on the Beedrill, or the Weedle line, I guess. No, I do actually like Beedrill and Mega Beedrill a lot. Kakuna Matata, exactly. It means throw bees at your enemies. Oh, actually, you know, I see another high-tier poison type that I forgot about. And that's my boy Gengar. I love this thing. Gengar is so cool. I mean, I am a part of the problem, but I love Gengar. Being fair, Kakuna looks clean. Metapod is a bit too big. No, I agree with that. Like, but like, it's again just like the fact that like the Evo lines are like feel so similar until you get to the final Evos. I feel like Beedrill and Butterfree are different enough, but Weedle, Caterpie, and Kakuna Metapod just feel a bit too similar. Just minus the colors. Actually, you know, I'll move Kakuna out the beat. I think Kakuna is okay. It's really just Weedle I don't like. I think they're like very average, in my opinion, for the both of them. But anyways, back to the Gengar stuff, or the Ghastly line. I love Haunter too. I think Haunter might be S or A. I'm gonna put it in A temporarily, but it might move up to S. Ghastly, I think, is cool. I think it more like Kakuna. Actually, I think realistically it needs to go like that. Probably. I like this entire Evo line. I grew to love this Evo line. I didn't like it as a kid, but 4th gen and onward, I was like, wow, I actually do like this Pokemon a lot. I see. We'll get to Pooper and Clodsire. You know, Gengar having their other type, but they're getting their other types more than poison. So I mean, the fact that they're just listed here, that was kind of like why I feel like it's fair. Because this entire list like is also like anything that's like part poison, so keep that in mind. Also, I'm not ranking Arceus and Silvally. I have not done that with the other lists, so they are going to be excluded. Mega Gengar, I think is okay. I actually like. I'm very back and forth on Mega Gengar. I don't know how I feel about it. It's not bad. I'm gonna move it to B for right now. Gengar's just a funny guy though. I love Gengar. You know that. So much like to be S for you in Bug / Ghost too. I don't. Did I do Bug? I feel like I did Bug. I know I haven't done a Ghost just, but I feel like I did Bug. Hold on. I have all of these lists on my Twitter. I want to say I did Bug already. Because I feel like I remember ranking Heracross at one point. That's dark. Oh, yeah, no, I did do Bug. Yes, Beedrill. Well, okay, Beedrill was S, but I only had 3 Pokemon in S tier when there was no double S tier. So yes, Beedrill was still at the top. Which, you know, I will link that real fast. Yes, Beedrill was a, like, a high tier mon for me in my bug list. Yeah, so that there is consistency. But I have not done Ghost as of yet. I've been saving Ghost because I feel like Ghost is like the most obvious. I can do that on a Halloween when I really need a stream kind of deal. So I just haven't like burned the really obvious bait yet, if that makes sense. Yeah, no. So Vigil is consistent. I can at least say that much. There just wasn't like a double S tier, like I said. And then that's for Mega or Gigantamax Gengar. Excuse me, I want to say Dynamax Gengar. I don't like this mechanic, but I think this is actually what Mega Gengar should have been. I'm willing to give this at least A. I'm actually gonna put it low. It might be S, but I'm gonna put it in A for right now. I don't know how I feel about it compared to Haunter, but I do think it's actually what Mega Gengar probably should have been. Well, it's so good. It's a good design. I can't fault. Like, it's the one Gigantamax I can't fault. Or one of the very few, at the very least. But anyways, I know Nian mentioned Wooper Clodsire. I think Clodsire's cute. Also, yeah, I was hoping that wouldn't pick up. I was trying not to say that, but yeah, you guys heard Betty. It is obnoxious how sound carries so well from the lower floor up to my room, but apparently my room blocks sound so well where it's like they can hear me talking downstairs, but they can't tell like what I'm saying. They just hear like, oh, it is noise, but it's also very quiet noise. But anyways, Looper and Cloud, I'm putting these just on the list, by the way. They're not D. They're not D. I'm just moving them up so like, I can talk about them. I don't love Pooper as much. I think he's okay. So, like, I think he's fine. Probably B. And then Clodsire, I think is very cute. You know what? Yeah, I think A is fair for Clodsire for right now. It's cute. I'm just more of a fan of Quagsire compared to Clodsire, but I still think that Claude is a very cute design. Like, he's just a guy. And I think it's like a very unique take on the evolution line for like being a salamander and all that. I like it. Or no, well, axolotl, salamander. You know what I mean. Yeah, no, I like the Quag Claude line, or the Wooper Claude line. And plus, I think just the nickname of Pooper is very cute. What's another poison type I want to jump to? What else can I jump to? Rose line? I was thinking that actually. You know, we'll do the Roselia line in its entirety. Okay. So Badoo, Roselia, Roserade. I'm gonna be real, I actually don't like Roselia all that much. Like, I feel like at its time of introduction, it was just a very whatever line, or a very whatever Pokemon. I don't have, like, any real memories of Roselia in specific of being, like, a Pokemon I super loved, minus, like, what, Drew, I think was his name in the anime? Making Roselia kinda cool. I thought the roses, and, like, I didn't feel like it hit the, like, the aesthetic to me. It just didn't do anything. Like, it's on the I don't, but she slays. See, I feel like just Roselia specifically doesn't do anything to me. Like, even, like, when I remember, like, the... It says, wow, never animations beginning. I was literally just about to mention that, too. I was just about to mention, like, the animation was, like, really good. Like, the little fly I never, but... Just 8 inches tall. Also, hello, CC. No, I don't hate it, and it might move up to C, but it's just not a mon I particularly care for. Badoo, I think, is cute. I actually really like Badoo. Like, I think Badoo just, like, I think we know at this point, I just like the little guy genre. I think Badoo is very cute. I think Badoo is great. There's all these Kirby height, yeah. I don't know, Roselia just doesn't do it for me, though. I really, like, can't tell you why, but, like, there's just nothing memorable about this Pokemon. I remember, like, seeing it, like, in like some of the games, like it just I don't know, it doesn't. Badoo is so cute, you know. But Badoo is great. I love Badoo. I absolutely love Badoo. So I remember like seeing like my emotions of going through this Evo line for the first time. Was like because this is like before I really started using online. Was that I was like, wow, Badoo's so cute. Comments made by non-TCG, but I was gonna get to Badoo, but it's like, wow, Badoo's so cute. Followed by, oh, it evolves into Roselia, and then you get to Roserade, and I think this mon slays. This mon actually slays. Roselia is like, in my opinion, such. Actually, you know what? I think it needs to be more like that. I don't know if Beedrill's gonna stay at the top of S. I'm just kind of, but I think Roserade is above it. I think Roserade is such a cool Pokemon. I love this thing. Obviously, the people who on the campaign that we used to be doing, I don't know if we're still ever going to continue it, but who know me, I love Roserade. Shiny Roserade is such a cool Pokemon. I love like even the change from like the red and blue to the more or less like black and white roses. I think this mon's really cool. And then as for Badoo, this thing is a war criminal. This thing is an actual war criminal in the TCG. Like, unironically, Badoo is probably one of the best Pokemon in the TCG. Like, hold on. I need you all to understand why Badoo is a menace. I literally looked up Badoo TCG, and I need you all to see the first thing that popped up. There's no way. Like, this is like the first result that popped up. And it's so true. Roserade's an icon, like... No, like, this Pokemon is a menace to society. Like, this mon is so obnoxious. No retreat cost, Itchy Pollen is a pain. And as a note, a lot of decks are primarily consistent of items in the actual TCG. I have actually seen this thing whittle down mons from like 240. Like, I've seen this thing like hit 14 turns in a row. Not even exaggerating. This mon is a menace. Rose fucking purple. You mean a real fan? And this whole is not legitimate. Oh, excuse me. You know what I meant, CC. But I love this. Also, another reason why I love Roserade. I want to show another gorgeous piece of TCG art just while we're talking about it real quick. Look at this thing. Look at this beautiful artwork. This card is gorgeous. This card's only $15, by the way, roughly, maybe $15, $20, somewhere in that range. But this card is beautiful. And this is one of the two Cynthia's Pokemon that actually got the illustration rares. The other being Garchomp, because of course. But no, this thing is gorgeous. I love Roserade. They make Roserade just like whenever they want to make it look good, it just always looks great. I love Roserade. It's such a cool Pokemon. It's one of my favorite grass types, I'd say. It's not Lilligant, but it's a cool Pokemon. I love Roserade. Anyways, yeah. So that's my take on the entire line. It goes from great and cute, but actually I have learned this thing is a menace, to I don't care for it, to oh my god, I love it. Yeah, that's my take on the Roselia line. What else do I wanna... Actually, you know what? Just because it's a single mon and I love it, and it might be Nihilego. I love this thing. Like, I think Nihilego is such a cool design. The hair jelly, I love it. More than Beedrill. I'm gonna rearrange, but like it's definitely up there. Like I'm more so focused on just putting them in the tiers, but it might be like I'd probably say more than Beedrill at the very least, but it's up there. I love Nihilego. Like this Pokemon to me is so cool. Like, when I saw it, I was like, I want to run this on like every team back in Sun and Moon. It's just a cool Pokemon, dude. That's just all there is to it. Even the shiny, I think, like, I don't even love yellow as a color, but I'm still like, the shiny looks good. No, I love Nihilego. Where it is RB's classic roast beef image land on the poison tier list. See, I like RBs. I unironically like Arby's, but if I had, so like, it's one of the fast food places I would pick the poison myself. Because let's be real, all fast food is poison. Like, I would give it like a solid A tier. You know, I think like the 4 for $10 classic roast beef. Like, hot damn, I'd grab that. This is right there on your list. I'm not clicking that ad. I would do it for the bit, but actually, you know what? Arceus for Arby's. How about that? There we go. Arceus is for Arby's. But anyways, Har said the Salandit line. So, and again, I'm just using D as I'm moving them up. They are not actually D. Let's see here. What do I think about Salandit and Salazzle? The answer is I actually like Salandit more than Salazzle. I never said the line. Well, when you pick one, you pick both. Like, I'm not gonna do Salandit and then not do Salazzle at like the same time. What do I think about this? I like Salandit. I like the fact that he's just a little gremlin. Like he's just a little goober. I think B is I'm thinking to myself real quick. Also, I'm gonna get rid of this Arceus bit. This Arceus actually threw me off for a second. You know what? I think this is probably fair. I would say Salandit is A, and then Salazzle is probably like a B. I get why it's only the females that evolve, but I wish there was just like a goober male Evo. You know, like I wish Salandit had like just some like silly male evolution. Also, I don't like. I get it, yada yada, hot lizard lady, but I'm gonna request the bats. You'll have to specify which bats, unless you mean like the Zubat line, but because there's Zubat and there's oh wait, no, never mind. I guess there is just Zubat. Never mind. Okay. Like a Colombian, like kinda, like I you know, like something that like still implied inferiority to the female Evo, like, because obviously, like, you know, the whole thing is like that Salazzle is like the leader and all that, and like the males like basically are tier 4 subs for the female. But I wish like we had like a stepping stone, like something that doesn't feel like it's like a final Evo level, like that's like comparable to Salazzle, but like it would be like almost like a mid evolution design, but it is the final evolution, like kind of like. You know, kind of like how it's like you have like a Croconaw or a Quilava, like something that feels like it's supposed to go further for a male Evo, but it never goes further. It was a lot. That was real. And I was so hyped because it was the best. He is a cool design. I love like this little bandit theme. And I love the sexy lizard, dude. I have a few Pokemon that's kind of like that. Like, even though I like Incineroar, I still feel that way with Incineroar, where I'm like, why couldn't you just be a quadrupedal cat? Or Meowscarada's kind of the same way, too, for me. Like, I was very torn between either Sprigatito or Fuecoco. But Meowscarada, like, I still like Meowscarada, but I'm like, gosh darn it, why can't we just have more quadrupedal Pokemon? Incineroar, he's so sexy. Dude, have you seen that bot? Like, he can slam me in the ring. That's a lie, I'm not a furry. Like, I just wanted, like, a quadrupedal cat. That's all I wanted. Because Torracat's so cool! I love Torracat, and I still like Incineroar, but I'm like, gosh darn it, why... Like, why does it feel like Incineroar just skipped leg day? You know? That's my problem with it. But anyways, Luna said the bats, just to make sure I'm not... Okay, so Zubat, Golbat, Crobat. So for the bats... What do I think about the bats? I don't care for Zubat or Golbat as much, but like, they're just like the standard to me, like when I think of poison types. So I think B is probably fair for the both of them. Actually, I'm gonna, for now, I'm gonna put Golbat in the top of C. And then I'm gonna put Crobat above Salazzle. Like, they're very much, just like, to me, the same poison type. I think Crobat's okay, but it very much is, like, the medium that portrays it. Because, like, I think to a lot of the console games, where it has, like, those, like, freaking buck teeth, and I'm like, God, this thing is ugly. But then I think, like, to, like, the anime, where I'm like, oh, they made Crobat actually kind of cool. So that's kind of my take on it. Like, it's very, like, the fact that, like, it's so media dependent is kind of my problem with it, why I don't see myself running it further. I actually loved Zubat as a kid, though. Where, I guess funny, like, or, like, childhood story time. It was a Disney World trip with family, and, like, at the time, like, for context, I always, like, carried some toy with me. I was always, like, just that kind of kid that had to have some sort of, like, toy with me, be like a stuffed animal or, like, a little plastic toy or something like that. And I had a Zubat plush at that point in time that I really liked. And I thought I lost it at Disney, and I was, like, so upset the entire day. Turns out it was just in my grandpa's wheelchair. Like, when I sat on his lap for a little bit while we were in between activities. And so I found out, like, at the end of the day, once we got him out of the wheelchair, which for context, like, he could walk at that point in time, but we just got him in the wheelchair because, like, it was a lot of walking, and that was hard for him. Thunder Punch Mug from God's this fucking Go Gamers with the Meowscream matchup. Oh, like, you are saying curse things that only Pokemon Go players would understand. Yeah, that, you know what, let's, because Luck came in, let's do the Grimer Mug line. How about that? We'll do this Evo line in both of its forms. So Grimer as a whole? Hey, whoa, no sir, what? What's the problem, Luck? What's the problem? If you're telling me just to do Mug, I'm telling you the exact same answer I just gave to Harper. I'm doing all of them at once. Also, gosh darn it, Betty. Well, no, I'm putting them in D so I can evaluate them. They're not, like, this is just so I can see them better. I'm not putting them in D like that for their actual placing. Yeah, no, this is just, like, so they're not, like, in the pile. What do I think about the Grimers? I like these lines. Nah. I like I like all these Pokemon more than Roselia, I can tell you that. I think Great Cantonian Grimer. He's a goober, and I like that about him. I don't like a Alolan Grimer as much. I couldn't tell you why. I think it's just the teeth. And also, like, I don't like some of the lore as much with Cantonian or Alolan Grimer and Mach. I think my problem was just, like, kind of similar, where it's like, you know, I liked how poison types were affected by society and all that, but then it's like, oh yeah, they help clean up the world and all that. Which, I mean, I get it on, like, the whole, hey, we need to take care of the environment and all that, but I don't know, it takes away some of the world building for me. So, I don't know. Just primarily lore implication, I think, is why I like Alolan Grimer less so than Cantonian Grimer. Muk, I think, is cool. I actually do kind of like Muk. However, I do think I need to rearrange this a little bit. And then Alolan Muk, I think, is also relatively neat. I think B is probably about higher, bitch. Nah, I don't think they deserve higher. If anything, I think maybe Cantonian Muk deserves a little bit more. He might go to A, but I don't see myself putting him past A tier. Way higher? Nah, you wrong. I disagree. Guy reminds me of the guy in college that used to be covered in unidentifiable goop. Some guy He tried sticking his hand in the goop to identify, but all his fingers fell off. Why does it sound like a Powerpuff Girls episode? Like, I'm just specifically imagining that entire prompt in Powerpuff Girls. Like, dang it, we can't beat up this sludge monster, what do we do? And then, like, it transitions into, like, some specific, like, hey, we put on, like, hazmat suits, and, like, we just put them, like, in a plastic baggie, and it's all about, like, protecting the environment. Then you get, like, a post-episode scene talking about environmental protection. It feels exactly like that. I'm gonna kill myself. The streamer will put the JPEGs where I want them to. Well, you know what? Like, you can make your own tier list or comment on my post on social media when I post this tier list and then disagree with me and give me engagement. How about that? Gonna put him lower. No, I don't think he's lower. I think, like, this Evo line is specifically, like, roughly where I'd put it all. Because I still like... The fuck you it's over. Or if they don't need to make them higher. You know what? I can be convinced with bribes. We do have a donation goal. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Wow, not a real deal. I mean, hey, listen. Those of you listening will know what happened. And then the people who only see it on, like, my social medias will be like, wow, what a loser. He put a Alolan Walk in, like, S tier or something like that. No, I think that's fair for this entire Evo line. Can you be bright to put Pokemon lower? I don't see why I couldn't. Unless I, like, 100% disagree with you. I'll say that it goes both ways. What's in them? Like E tier, you beat Million Ginger. I 100% disagree with you. I will not do that. Is there an E tier Pokemon? You know what? I see one. Hold on. Like, this is Baby Grifai. I think this thing is ugly. I just do not care for this thing. Like, I think it's gross. I hate this line. I like Grifai. I think Grifai is actually like a really cool concept of, like, modern Smeargle. Like, I think, you know what, actually, I'm trying to think, I don't think I shoved it in A. I think it's like a very high B tier. Like, shoot, this would be stuff in the... No. See, I didn't even remember his name was Shroodle. I'll be real with you, I just forgot this Pokemon's name. Like, if you told me, like, hey, what do you think of Shroodle? I'd be like, who? Like, I did not even know this name was Shroodle. I forget, was this Mon Galar? I feel like it was Galar. Because if so, that also seems I wouldn't remember it. The Scarby? Oh, huh, okay. Dang, I just don't remember that. Yeah, no, okay. But, yeah, I think that's probably fair. I might move Grifai up. Maybe, like, even, like, Grifai and Muk, and then move them into A. And, like, Crobat still be the top of B. I'll see how it feels when we get to the end, closer to the end. You know what? I see one I want to cover real quick. Oh, Grifai, I eat me. Then drink it all, yeah. But I think the toxicity stuff is worth. Actually, hold on. Yeah, okay, this is next. I don't care for Toxel all that much, realistically. I don't know, it's just a dumb baby. And, like, I think a lot of the baby Pokemon are cute, but it's just, like, one that I'm, like, about. Low-key, I think Toxicity is actually super cool, though. And then, because I know that's a low-key from the high key form, I think it's still cool. And then as for the Gigantamax, you know what? I will give it. I'll give it the A. I think this evil line is generally very cool. I just think the baby is stupid. And again, these are not completely ordered within tier, but we'll go back and do that later. Yeah, I think this line's cool. I love Toxtricity low-key. I think it's such a cool design. High-key, I think, is cool, just not as cool. And then, like, Toxtricity is dumb. But yeah. What are the thoughts on the Gulpin line? The Gulpin line. We'll do Gulpin real quick. So Gulpin and Swalot. I think Gulpin is silly, and I love that he's silly. I think Gulpin is just a cute, silly little guy. So I have like mad love for Gulpin, unironically. Swalot though, I don't love Swalot as much. Like, I like Gulpin's tramp stamp. I think Gulpin's just like a funny little dude. But you are right, the tramp stamp is the thing. But Swalot though feels like a rejected design for Escargon from Kirby. But I still think that because he feels like a rejected Kirby character, he still gets placed fairly high. I don't know. Like, part of the charm from Gulpin feels lost in Swalot. Also, I think Gulpin has like a very funny TCG art. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this one art of Gulpin real fast. And what do you mean, what now? Oh, I found the art I was looking for real fast of Gulpin. I love this Gulpin art. Like, look at this little dude. Like, he's just silly. I love it. I've also been, like, appreciating. What does that mean, CC? What do you mean by this? He do beat Gulpin. Yeah, exactly. He beat Gulpin. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't hate Swalot. I just don't love it as much as Gulpin. Like, it just part of the charm feels lost. Like, I wish he, like, still had the little slanty eyes. Like, I probably would also, like, maybe like the evil line a little bit more, because, like, I don't get where the diamonds on Swalot come from. When it feels, like, if Gulpin had, like, a bib, then I would probably like the diamond aesthetic, like, more on Swalot. Part of it just feels like there's, like, a little bit of a lost translation to me. And I feel Gulpin is so good. Swalot looks like a One Piece character that was made to be hated. You say that, and I see it, and I'm mad I see it. Like, he's, like, very much, like, out of, like, a lot of the usual design space for One Piece, where it's, like, he has, like, a little, like, I don't want to say top hat, but, like, a little, like, bowl kind of hat. He feels like he'd be, like, wearing, like, a suit with, like, probably, like, some kind of stupid cane. I actually do see Swalot as a One Piece character, and I hate the fact that I see it. Yeah, you know, I'm mad. I'm mad. I still like it, but I'm mad. Like, you're just correct. Swalot is just a One Piece character. Anyways, let's move on from... Before I get more mad at Swalot. What's another line I like a lot, or just want to talk about? You know what? I have my first... I don't remember this Pokemon line. Glamora and the baby, I literally don't even remember this thing exists. I'll be real with you. I keep thinking Glamora is just like a one-stage Evo. As for Glamora itself, I'm like, it's okay. Thank you. You educated me because I don't remember its name. But I think Glamora. I don't know. This thing was underutilized. I feel like I remember like when I first saw it in like Area 0, and I was like, whoa. Like just like not even realizing it was a Pokemon at first, but like even when you fight it in like the champion battle, it feels not. I know like they position it as the lead in like the rematch, which I think is good considering that's what it's supposed to be. But I don't know. It does not feel like it's like. It feels like a very misused Pokemon in terms of the story. Actually, you know, I'll put it above Weedle. I think that's fair. Yeah, I don't care for this evil line a whole lot. I feel like it was misused. I don't remember Clement exists. It's just not a Pokemon I ever remember about. What else do we want to cover out of what's left? There's some obvious like big hitters we can go over, but I don't know if I want to attack the King. Oh, are you talking about specifically Slowking? Or like, is there a different term you mean by the King? Or Nidoking, I guess. That's another king. There's two kings. Nidoking, okay. You know, let's do all the Nidos, I guess, for this. Okay. God, I know if Sai was here right now, he'd be like, you better put Nidoking in like at least A. Damn, was the teams? You got the kings. Dude, they got the kings, they got the queens. But let's see here. Sai okay, so he is aware. Yeah. But okay, so the Nido line. So include the queens. We'll get to the queens after the kings, because Hard did say the Nido kings first. He will be aware of your Nido king choice. Okay. So Nidoran. I'm gonna work my way up. Okay. So Nidoran male. It's okay. I don't particularly love it. I don't particularly hate it. It's just average. I will put Nidoran male. Nah, I do like Nidoran male. It's okay. Probably B. It's kind of like in that group. I feel like a lot of the poison types that came like are kind of like my standard for what I think is like a good or bad poison type. I don't like Nidorino as much, but I feel like it's still not bad. So I just feel like Nidorino male is a very solid C tier option. Like it feels a little bit too like towards Nidoran male. I wish it was a smidge more towards Nidoking. Like I kind of wish like this is actually like a weird case where it's like I wish it actually was a bipedal Pokemon in some way. Like it just feels like grown-up Nidoran where there's a slightly too much disconnect I feel in this evil line. That's me. It's not bad, but just again slightly too disconnected. Also my music stops on me. Yeah, there we go. And then Nidoking. Yeah, I can't even lie, I think Nidoking is really fucking cool. I like Nidoking. I arguably might put this in double S, but I think like a very strong S tier is very appropriate for Nidoking. I think Nidoking is a cool Pokemon. Actually, you know what? I think that's good. Yeah, I like that. Something like this. No, Nidoking I think is like a Pokemon that's like, I forget it's poison half the time. But like it's a cool Pokemon. It does like it can be portrayed so like uniquely in like a lot of media. I wish the thing had a Mega. I feel like it deserves a Mega. With the structure, it feels like it'd be such a good Pokemon to just take even further. I think Nidoking is very cool. It should have had a Mega. It should have had a Dynamax or Gigantamax. It deserves more, I feel. I think Nidoking is really cool. Like a Nidoking and Nidoking would be badass. Exactly! Like, they feel like they're Pokemon that deserve it. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like Kangaskhan getting love is like a mon that like needed it considering how unviable Kangaskhan historically has been. But I'm like, Nidoking and Nidoqueen are right there, and they're such cool Pokemon. Yeah, I would give it 10. I think Nidoking deserves more love. Nidorino's finally, we're getting my first Game Boy and new copy of Pokemon Red. Look at the Power Switch, I'm watching it. Nidorino didn't have my Gengar on the home screen. Start my creepy pasta. Jesus, CC. Also, actually, you know what? I guess it's true. Nidorino does have the cinematic of fighting Gengar. I'm actually kind of rethinking Nidorino right now. You know what? I will put Nidorino up a smidge higher. I think that's fair. And then as for the queens, Nidorina, or Nidorine female, Nidorina, and then Nidoqueen. So it says, yeah, no, don't worry. At the absolute lowest, Nidoking would probably be like an A tier. I cannot see myself putting Nidoking any lower. I think Nidoking is really cool. Now as for the female side of things, I don't care as much for Nidorine female. I don't know why. Like, it feels just too much like a beaver to me. Like, yeah, I don't like Nidorine female. I don't know why. I just don't. It just feels too much like a beaver. Nidorina, though, I think is actually really cool. Like, this is, like, literally, this is what I wanted Nidorino to look like. And then as for Nidoqueen, I admit I really dislike Nidoqueen as well. My only, like, slight complaint is literally just, like, the boot plate. And I don't, like, literally just because of that. Like, I feel like they just tried a little too hard to be like, yep, this is the queen of it, you know? But I still think it's cool. I think it probably, like, deserves high A. Maybe bottom of S? We'll see. I don't want to put too many Pokemon in S is the problem. Like, S and I also like the fact that I, like, have such a high double S tier, while S is lower. So there might be some adjustment to that once we get a bit further. But I don't want to, like, super adjust tiers until we get more mons on here, just for, like, a better curve. Yeah, I think the Nidoqueen line is still pretty cool, generally speaking. I think it, for the most part, does it better. Like, it's just not that the first stage of it, I think, throws me off too much. And then as for other kings and queens, you know what? Let's throw the other king on here, along with his bro. So, Galarian Slow Bro and Slow King. I'm gonna be real, I love Galarian Slow Bro. I think he is such a funny guy. Like, he almost feels like a DeviantArt Pokemon to me. But I think he's just so, like, I think the shell concept is, like, actually cool to, like, make. It almost feels like, again, like, I said, like, DeviantArt Pokemon, almost, like, kind of feels like he could be a Mega Man character in, like, a goofy way. Like, probably, like, a later Mega Man character, not, like, a traditional Mega Man character, but I like Galarian Slow Bro. Slow King's not bad. I also like what they did with the shell. I think that's a unique take. But it's not outstanding to me. So I'd probably go like that. Something comparable to this? Galarian Slow Bro is like a SpongeBob guy, give a guy turned into a Pokemon design. Yeah, I see what you mean. It feels like, yeah, you know what? I actually see that. It feels like if you shoved Patrick into Pokemon. And like he got like his hand bit by something, and then just became like a menace to society, and that was like the entire episode, until eventually everyone's like, oh, I guess we'll just have to live with it even if we don't want to. But then the shell on its arm like finds its long lost lover or something, and then just leaves. No, it's the Scallop episode. It's literally the Scallop episode if the Scallop was attached to Patrick instead of SpongeBob. That's exactly what it is. It's just the Scallop episode. That's what this concept embodies to me. So if he looks like he'd say some evil shit on Twitter and then go, no, it wasn't me, it was the mind control shell. Yeah, I see that too. It feels like if Mojo Jojo discovered Twitter. But then every time like he was about to get canceled, like he found some excuse to not get canceled. God, why am I on a Powerpuff Girls like spree with these apparently? That's actually kind of wild. Okay, I think that does it for the kings and the queens of yeah. You cannot count on me. I am Shin, but my morals are not the same as humans. I am Ojo Jojo. I probably could have done that better, but yeah. Something to that effect. Beat you. Consider yourself a non-follow. Okay, listen. First off, hello, welcome. Second off, I literally said Crobat is B because it entirely depends on the media that Crobat is like portrayed in. Because like sometimes they give Crobat like just ugly ass buck teeth, like in the stadium games, and I think that just hurts him a lot. But like when it's like not ugly buck teeth, I think Crobat's fine. And keep in mind, B is still not bad. I'm not saying I dislike the B tier Pokemon. Actually, by that logic. There. B for buck teeth. Exactly. Yeah, B for buck teeth. No, Crobat's fine. I just, like, don't love it. I don't hate it. And, like, it's just too much depends on the media it's in. What else? You know what? Let's get the one, Paradox Mon real fast, I guess. Iron Moth. I think this is a cool concept. I like how the wings are just panels for Iron Moth. Like, this is one that I'm also like, wow, they actually gave it color, which I appreciate. Like, this feels like it could just be like a recreational Pokemon. I like it. I think... I like Crobat's ugly bug teeth. Oklahoma deserves representation. Oklahoma deserves representation. Jesus Christ. God, that actually makes me want to put Crobat lower just for that comment. I like one scoliosis. We'll get to the Scolipede line in a moment. But I think Iron Moth is cool. I think Iron Moth, realistically... Actually, you know, I think Iron Moth is... probably... Well... Okay, you know what? Hold on. Yeah. Thinking on it, I think this is probably a little more appropriate. Something comparable to this. Well, obviously we'll figure it out, but I feel like... something like this is pretty cool. But anyways, the Venipede, Whirlipede, and Scolipede line? This whole tier list is making me angry. Good. Comment on when I post it on Twitter and give me engagement. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Anyways, this entire Evo line. I'm gonna be real, I think this is actually like an Evo line done super right. I remember like seeing an analysis of this line. I was like, it embodied like what I liked about this line. So, Venipede. I think Venipede, like, so keep in mind, I am putting this in B in the sense of like, it's basic for like a first stage, but it's still like, actually, I don't want to put it in A. I don't think it deserves A. The line is capable of taking out. Exactly. Like, this line is like so well designed. Like, for a basic bug Pokemon, or like a basic poison Pokemon, I guess in the context of this thing looks intimidating. Like, this actually feels like it would be like a rarer Pokemon, and I'd be like a bit intimidated to actually see a bug like this. Like, I would not feel comfortable with this, like, just seeing this in the forest. Whirlipede, I think, is boring, but in the context of its evil line, I still think is very good. Because, like, it's still like the Cocoon Pokemon, still similar to, like, Kakuna Metapod, like I talked about earlier. But it is unique enough to where it's like, it stands out to me. Like, even as a Cocoon, I'm like, I can imagine this thing just rolling at me and hurting me, you know? Or just, like, scaring me that it's, like, rolling to impact into something to, like, break the shell. And I think that's terrifying. Like, this feels like it could be something out of, like, Alien or something like that. So I think for that reason, I'm going to put it here, but I still think it's very... Again, B is not a I dislike it. Like, it like, sets what I think, like, either is a standard or what I think should be a standard. And then Scolipede, I think, is just really cool. Actually, you know, I might do that. Like, I think Scolipede is such a cool evo, like, final evolution. It feels like again, it's what a bug, in my opinion, if you want to make a good designed bug type Pokemon, like, between, like, its stats, its design, it's just like it's a golden child, I feel, for, like, Pokemon specific, like, for, like, if you want to make something intimidating, because that thing feels like a behemoth, like, if you stumble onto it, right? Like, big armored bug, yes, it has the soft underbelly, but to be fair, a lot of animals have, like, weaker undersides. Like, even cats, like, which are a predator animal, technically speaking, like, have, like, a more vulnerable underside. That's why they don't show, like, their undersides a whole lot. And I feel like even like, doing that with Scolipede, like, it's still cool, where it's like, I can show you it because I'm gonna tower over you and I'm going to just latch down on you. Like, this thing feels terrifying. 2.5 tall. Aw, that does not... Jesus Christ, this thing's like 8 feet tall. Yeah, never mind. This thing is terrifying. Like, again, Golden Child. Golden Child Pokemon. Straight up. Yeah, no, I feel the intimidation as I stare at this thing. I think this is like a great Pokemon. I like Scolipede a lot. Yeah, let's see. What else? And do I want to... There's not a lot of bugs left. Do we want to go after the rest of the bugs while we're here? I think we can go after the bugs. I don't disagree with that play. Okay, so for the other bugs, I guess I'm gonna move them all to D real fast, and we'll just like do this bit of it. Venipede is a foot tall. Jesus Christ! I didn't know this thing was a foot tall. That's terrifying. Yeah, never mind. Venipede does a really good job of being intimidating for even a small bug. God. Okay. I don't know. Chad, do we do the bugs? Do we do the rest of the bugs and get them out of the way, or something else that you guys want to see real fast? Because I know like if we do all the bugs, that's going to be a little bit. Few bugs? Okay. So let's go ahead and get I'm including the bugs in their evos, because like I know Drapeon's not a bug, but Skorupi is a bug, so I'm just going to include it for the sake of including it. Dustons. Skorupi, Drapion. Bugs. I think that's all of them? Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one for some reason. Double checking though. It's a plant, it's on bug. No, I guess we got them. Okay, so the bugs themselves. I like Venonat because I think it's just very cute. Like he's little guy energy. I like that about Venonat. I think Venonat's cute. Venomoth feels okay. It's kind of like there's too much of a disconnect between Venonat and Venomoth. It's on Bulbasaur the line. We can do the Bulba line after we finish the bugs. How about that? We'll do Bulbasaur and hit that Evo line afterwards, because that was a power play that I was like thinking we had to wait on. I don't like Venomoth in the context of going from Venonat to Venomoth. That's kind of my problem. Venonat Lloyd is a convenience store during Greece just because it's bored and jobless. Dude, that's just a move. That's gonna be me in like 5 years. But I don't know. Venomoth, like, it's not that it's a bad design, but there's just too much of a disconnect between it and Venonat for me to like it. It's kind of the same deal with like Nidorino, I feel. And then Spinarak and Ariados. I think these both actually deserve like B's in my opinion. I think these are both very good. Like very similar to Whirlipede, where it's like, you know, animals will develop, like in some cases they develop patterns on their bodies to like either intimidate or like either intimidate predators or to intimidate prey. And I feel like the fact that they have the face like does that very well. It's very similar to like the feelings I have of Arbok. And I wish they actually experimented like a little bit more depending on the region with that, because I feel like a lot of Arbok media is inconsistent on that. Like if you look at like Arbok like Pokemon cards, for example, they consistently do different patterns for like the Cobra stuff on Arbok, and I think that's very cool. I wish they did that more with like Spinarak and Ariados. Venomoth is boring, just the mouth is big. Yes, I just mouth are better designs than Venomoth. Yeah, like it's not that, but like, it's just too boring. And plus, like again, the disconnect really throws me off with those two. Like even like Dustox, which is also a moth, I feel does it better. But speaking of Dustox, that's our next one. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Kakuna down. Because I feel like Dustox like is different enough, but like it doesn't strike me as anything special. I don't super remember Dustox as like just. I remember I got Dustox, like, and I kept getting Dustox every time I kept trying to evolve for Bulls and Sapphire, and I did like kept thinking like, oh, I guess it's just a like game exclusive one, and then like later they're like, no, it's just RNG. It's literally just RNG. No, I don't know. Dustox like never stood out to me necessarily, but I do think it's cooler. Like, actually, you know what? I'm gonna probably that. I think that's probably fair for it. I think Dustox is okay. And then Skorupi and Drapion. How do I feel about these two? I love Skorupi. I actually do really like Skorupi a lot. I like the fact that we haven't really had Scorpion Pokemon up to this point. I think is really cool. I actually hope we get like a regional Skorupi at some point, where it's like actually just like poison ground or something like that. I think that would be a very cool idea for Skorupi. Because like Skorupi is more like a swamp like styled Scorpion. Because I remember you catch it like in the marsh in the Safari Zone back in Gen 4. I guess there's an episode where Jesse's Dustox got a bug, right? But every episode where I pulled it back, Dustox canonically pulls. Is that actually how Dustox leaves? I didn't really watch the DPP anime. Well, no, it'd be 3rd gen. Yeah. I don't remember that episode at all, or like anything about her Dustox. And she stops when the Pokemon tells it to live on and be happy. I almost don't believe it, because I feel like they don't really do that, like, at least not on Pokeballs that often in Pokemon. Not to say I don't believe you, but huh. I mean, good for Dustox, I guess. And then Drapion. I don't know why, but like, there's just something off about the body, like specifically the lankiness of Drapion. I feel like Drapion's too lanky. Is my problem with it. I remember her smashing water Poke wasn't on which one. I mean, maybe it was the Dustox one. I just don't remember. Because I think it was after Battle Frontiers when I stopped watching the anime for a while. I didn't watch a ton of DBB, I watched parts of it. I skipped all of Black and White, minus like some clips I eventually went back to. And then I came back during the XY era, and I have not kept up with the newer anime since. Well, I also like skipped around with Galar. Well, Galar / the World Travel arc, but yeah. But JPN I feel like just kind of has like too much of a disconnect, I feel is my problem with it. Well, not disconnect, that's not the word. Like it's close to what I want JPN to look like, but it doesn't feel like it's as intimidating as it should be, just due to like either the positioning of the arms or like the length like does not, I feel like, match like the hulking structure I feel that JPN should have. I know there's a really cool Yukamori Pokemon TCG card of JPN though that I really like a lot, but I don't know, I don't love JPN. There's just a little bit too much of like an issue with it for me to really like it. But anyways, Luna wanted the Bulbasaur line. This is a big one. Yeah, we're actually getting there, which is kind of weird. Again, we're not ranking Savalier, just for a reminder. But anyways, the Bulbasaur line. What do I think about this line as a particular whole? Ash's Bulbasaur had a lot. I like Ash's Bulbasaur. I think the anime like influences a lot of my opinion on Bulbasaur specifically. I think Bulbasaur is cute. JPN will exclusively have the bendy parts of bendy straws. That's not wrong. But Bulbasaur, I think Bulbasaur is cute. I like Bulbasaur. I think I like it more than Goldman. I'll say it like that. I think Bulbasaur is a very cute little guy. Not my Kanto pick. I was very much like if I actually had red, blue, or green/yellow, or green or yellow, or any of like the original versions, I would have picked Squirtle 100%. But I think Bulbasaur is very cute. Ivysaur has Smash bias with me, just because Smash Bros was such a big part of my life, and like the fact that like they actually made like a middle Evo like interesting. I always liked Ivysaur's kit as well in Smash, so he gets points for me. Probably like that. I mean, I adore the cabbage. Yeah, and the cabbage is cute. But then Venusaur. Where do I put Venusaur? I think Venusaur's cool. But I feel like the problem I have with Venusaur is I feel like both the Mega and the Gigantamax do a little bit more of an interesting job with Venusaur. So I think for that reason alone, I think Venusaur itself is probably like a very solid B. And then Mega and Gigantamax. Like, honestly, when I look at these two in specific, they feel like they could be regional forms. Like, you could change the flower, like, keep this, like, Mega Venusaur feels like it could be a Lowland Venusaur. And I think that's, like, actually like, cool about it, but, like, it still, like, gives me, like, a very, like, we deserve more fat final Evos. We do! We 100% do. I'm, like, that's another reason I like Skeledirge. Because, like, it keeps, like, the crocodile like lion. Like it feels like intimidating because he's just a big guy. Like I do like they're not like always my favorites. Like I feel like some Pokemon just look better as like slim and lean. But like I do like some of the big chonker Evo lines when they do like that. I feel like that both Mega and Gigantamax could be like very good regional concepts of Venusaur. So I think for that reasoning. Also, I'm gonna rearrange these like in like the end, but it's like just my tentative thoughts. I think I like Mega Venusaur a lot, just in terms of design. Gigantamax isn't as good, but I still like it. Probably something to this effect. Something like this. Again, well, we were into the end, yeah. I like the Boba line does a very good job just as a whole. I think it's very cool. And it's probably like my least favorite line in the Kanto starters, realistically, but I still like it. I think this Evo line is very well done. You know, shout out to the original one. What's on here? Love Mega Venusaur, yeah. I think all the Venusaur lines such like typings do a very good job. What else do we want to do? I'm trying to think what I want to tackle next unless someone yells something in chat. I was gonna say, let's just walk through the Kanto Pokemon, but there's way too many Kanto Pokemon just to try and blitz through that. You only know if you're coughing, wheezing, you're gagging. Okay, we'll do, you know what, sure, we'll do the coughing line. So this Evo line, coughing, wheezing, and Galarian wheezing. So I know I talked shit about the Galarian Grimer and Galarian Muck, and I kind of feel the same way about Galarian wheezing. However, Galarian wheezing does one thing with its design that makes me really appreciate it a lot more than those two, and that is, on one hand, the level of comedy, but also I just love the pipes with working with this design. Because coughing, wheezing, they still expel poison gas, and Galarian wheezing technically expels I think it's purified poison gases. And I feel that while it's still kinda dumb, it's still goofy enough to where it's funny. So I think Galarian wheezing gets points for that. I think it's a funny one. And then as for coughing, I can't help but think back about the Pokemon Go incident with coughing at the very start of the game. Which, I guess, I don't know if this is official or not, if this actually happened, or this is just a playground rumor, quote unquote. But allegedly, at a certain museum covering a certain historical event, involved in Germany. Not I guess any more than that. Supposedly, coughing was a very common spawn. I kind of again think it's very playground rumor, but if true, it's the wrong kind of thing to laugh at. But I can't help it. Again, very playground rumor. I don't entirely believe it myself. I am looking at it a bit leery-eyed, but supposedly it happened, and it was coughings and Ghastlies, which to be fair, Ghastly's just a very common spawn in Pokemon Go anyways, but I think coughing is fine. I like coughing. I'd probably say I actually like coughing more than Ghastly on the wheel, even though I still like Ghastly. My problem is, do I move coughing up to A, or do I move Ghastly down to B? Actually, no, I think I moved Ghastly down. I like coughing. And then wheezing, I think is funny. I also have a lot of nostalgia with wheezing because of the old Pokemon anime and all that. Something like this. Something like that, yeah. That's probably how I view coughing, wheezing, Galarian wheezing. Also, keep in mind, I also am only putting Galarian wheezing this high because I think it actually is a very good regional variant of wheezing. Comparing say Muck and Alolan Muck, I feel those two are too samey, while I feel the wheezings are different enough to where I like them. You know what? Let's get let's get the trash out of the way. And then the Trubbish line. I'll be real, I just don't like this line. I just don't. But I do want to double check one thing real fast. Okay. Forgive me, I had to pull up like a better picture of Gigantamax Garbodor. So by the way, Chad, did you know that Trubbish is apparently a cat? Because I think that's so wild that this thing is apparently just a cat. I always thought it was a rabbit, but I think it's just weird that Trubbish is a cat, specifically. Because I remember, like, I ruined this Pokemon actually for a lot of people at the last Pokemon card show I went to. Because I forget how, but yeah, so Trubbish is actually a cat. It's not a rabbit, it's a cat. Because, like, whenever, like, Pokemon even, like, post, like, a bunch of media, like, about cats and all that, they always, like, include Trubbish in those posts. They also include Sneasel in that cat. See, Sneasel doesn't feel like it should be a cat. Like, it feels like it should just be a weasel, which I would not say is a cat. And no, don't give me the argument of every animal is either cat or dog. I refuse to believe you. No, I don't love Trubbish as much despite being a cat. It's... You know what? No, I'll give Trubbish a little bit higher. Garbodor, I think it's just ugly. I don't... Like, I don't know. Garbodor is like a mon and I'm like, it's worse muck. Actually, I don't put it... Can I put it in E? No, it's not ew. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And then Gigantamax Garbodor. I feel like the concept is better than a lot of other, like, representations of this Pokemon, but I still don't like it. Because I feel like for being a giant trash monster, the fact that it has, like, a ship and such, like, stuck to it, I think is cool. I actually think this is, like, a okay... Air quotes okay, but I'm still not, like... I still don't like this Evo line, generally speaking. You know, because we mentioned, I guess, Sneasel... Let's do Sneasel and Sneasler. G-Max Garbodor feels like a joke from Game Freak. We could... It's only non-Gym 1 Gen 8 or whatever the fuck. Elemental falls under mod freaking Gigantamax form. I mean, Meltan and Melmetal are technically from the unknown region of Go, so... But yeah, no, I do think that's, like, interesting. They actually gave that kind of thing to a 5th gen mod. But Sneasel... Sui and Sneasel and Sneasler. What do I think about these two? Also, I'm getting dumb notifications. Oh, never mind. Icon 100 is like cool. I will say I actually love this form of Sneasel. I think the Sneasel form is really cool. I actually kind of prefer it to... I don't know, do we say Jotonian? Or Jotoian? I don't know how you would even, like, imply that, but I think the Sneasel's actually neat. Like, I feel like this is, like a cool mon. I feel like it's probably high A? Or mid, like, A? Actually, I might just move Grafai up. Yeah, I like Sneasel, specifically. Sneasler? I don't care as much for. Like, it's not bad, but I don't love it. Where would I put Sneasler? It's... You know what? I think I would put Sneasel like in B. It's okay. I'm more of a Weavile fan person. I think Weavile just is a cooler Pokemon, but Sneasler is okay. Sneasler feels like the artist begged over and over to Pokemon coming to let them put boobs on it. You know what? Now that you say that, it feels like how they wanted to put boobs on Pikachu. I could see Sneasel like being like a discarded base concept of that. It feels like the discarded base concept for like what they want to do with Pikachu at the very start of the franchise. So I 100% could like believe that. Yeah, I think Sneasel's just like okay. I don't love it, don't hate it. It's fine. I think Sneasel though is cooler. They wanted one on Pikachu. Oh, yeah. So apparently, like, so keep in mind this is like before Pokemon like actually came out, but like apparently like Pikachu's original design was supposed to be like some kind of like tigress style lady with like big boobs. Because like Pokemon was like gonna be a lot different according to like a lot of these like initial concepts, but yeah, no, they wanted to put like big boobs on Pikachu and make it like a giant like or like some kind of like tiger lady. Which to be fair, I can kind of believe that because like Pokemon's like always like even like in more modern games with like concepts of sex appeal, like with how Skyla was supposed to be like a sexy Latina pilot, which you know I would give that to Skyla. But yeah, no, like they've done like they've talked about stuff like that. No, what do you mean? I mean, I think the Pikachu bit's funny, but I see what you mean about the Sneasel bit. The Sneasler bit, but yeah, no. Apparently that was just like a design point that they really were considering for it. Obviously they didn't go with it, and like I think it was like ultimately like yeah, marketing wise this would not go well. It would not hold children's attention. I don't even know if that was like the point still where like they considered Clefairy or not as like the mascot for Pokemon. Because I also know Clefairy was like originally supposed to be one of the or like the original mascot for Pokemon, but they stayed with Pikachu instead. Yeah. Anyways, I feel like that's what I thought was Sneasler as we talk about Pikachu with big tits. Also, is Overqwil not a poison type? I thought Overqwil was. Oh no, it is a... Oh no, it's just not grouped with, Yeah, okay, excuse me. I was just so thrown off because it wasn't with the Quillfish. Yeah. Okay. You know, let's do the other Hisuian, form / variant real fast. So Quillfish, Quillfish and Overqwil. I'm very whatever about Pikachu with boobs is just love at this point. I'm not sure what you mean by love, unless I'm just blanking on it. This dumb fish was a monster in my Legend ZA run. We will eventually be playing Legend ZA on stream, just as a heads up, chat. I did want to actually play that game. Assuming Zach bought it digitally. So I can move to the game. Or Arceus, yeah. But I mean both. Well, I know what you meant. But no, Quillfish and then the Overqwil stuff. I don't care for Quillfish. It's just okay. I don't know. It's a very like whatever Pokemon. I don't tend to remember it a whole lot. One Blue Thunder. You'll have to send me a picture later, because I really don't. Hold on. Actually, let me see if I can. Oh! Okay, never mind. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I never watched this show, or it's more modern remake. I know exactly who you're talking about. Now I look it up. Yeah, it's more like that. I think is what they were kind of going for. Let's steal it from social security number. All right, Har, you heard the chat. Hand over the. I sent one of the DMs. Yeah, no, I just looked it up. I literally typed in Lum Blue Anime Lady, Blue Thunder Anime Lady, and it came up perfectly. I remember exactly what you're talking about now. Yeah. I know nothing about this character though, but yeah. Anyways, back to Quillfish. Like I said, I don't remember this thing a whole lot. It's okay. I think Hisuian Quillfish though actually does like some intimidating concepts. Like Quillfish feels very fitting like for Johto, but I feel like this has like an overall design. Hisuian Quillfish does it better. Probably like something like that. And then Overquill. My problem with Overquill is it feels a little like almost the opposite of Drapion, where it feels like a little too over the top. I don't hate Overquill, but I don't love it. It's like no, actually yeah, I just don't like Overquill. That's just kind of the problem. I just don't like Overquill. Yeah. Yeah, it's something like that. Overquill it has a heart condition. It feels like he used hyper voice on it in a heart attack. Overquill just feels like he's not doing okay. Like, it feels like there's a lot of problems with that fish. Like, if you tap, like, the glass, it would just roll over and die. Like it's, like, way too on edge. I don't super care for Overquill. It's just kind of whatever. Unless we're getting there. I don't know. Chat, do you guys have anything you want me to talk about? If not, I know what I'll pick next, but... The Legends? I'm assuming you're talking about the, like, the Okie Dokie and all that. Oh, you know, we'll talk about them. Assuming this is the squad you're talking about. No. For the beast. I don't know. Like, what is this, trio called? The Loyal Three? Oh, that's what they're called? Okay. I did not actually know what they were called. Yeah, the Loyal Three and Pecharon. So keep in mind, my opinion is not fully educated as I did not play the Scarlet Violet DLCs. So please keep that in mind. I'm not going into here with like full knowledge of these three. So maybe I would like them more. I also know they're kind of assholes to Ogerpon. That's like all I really know about them. And my my TCG knowledge of these four. Anyways, Okie Dokie. Okie Dokie, the name is funny. I'll give you that. Committed homicide for real? What do you mean they committed homicide? What? Also, hello, Betty. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be in bed? No, you're gonna hang out with me for a little bit. Okay. Monkey Dog or Okie Dokie. It's okay. I feel like C is appropriate. They killed Ogerpon's trainer because they wanted Ogerpon. Is that true? Is that actually true? Holy! Oh, did you never see the video? No, I like I said, my knowledge of these four is like. I gave Laura the DLC. No, I did not see this video actually. You know what? If you link me or can you DM me the video and I will react on stream real fast. Assuming like it's not like copyright music or like not terribly long. I don't think it was an extraneous story. I think it was in the story of the DLC. Jesus! So like it's just out there. It's like yeah, we killed them. It's literally just like yeah, we killed the trainer. That's literally it. It's just that they killed Ogerpon's trainer. There's no way. Hold on, I need to see this video before anything. Ogerpon murdering them was a video, I think. Okay. Oh my god. Ogerpon also came back. I probably have Kieran's fuckboy. There's no. Oh, so I knew about Kieran being like basically just like a bitchy little. Like, well, I mean to be fair, no, but you also kind of fucked with him during the DLC from what little I understood, because like he really wanted to meet Ogre Pawn, and it's like the fact that like you and like the sister keep messing with him in ways that's like very uncool. If I remember right. I watched Alfred's video, but that's like all, and I only, like, that was forever ago, so I only like vaguely remember. Hold on. Okay, the Ogre Pawn also. The only Patreon story was a video when you meet Ogre Pawn on accident. His sister forced you to lie and say you never did. Or, yeah, like whatever works, yeah. Like something that's like good enough for me to comprehend it. Okay, hold on. Okay, chat. We're gonna watch. We're gonna take an intermission and watch this video real quick. Hold on. Also, yes, I love the shopping boutique music. But I need to see this real fast. Basically, use the writing of some Pokemon just naturally wants to lead the player to screw him over. Yeah. She has been passed on from her family, word of mouth. It's a story of truth, a story that must never be told to the rest of the village. You must never speak of it to the others. Long time ago, a man and an ogre came to the company village from a foreign land. The people of the village fear the man and the ogre who looks so different from them. And so they refuse to let the travelers come anywhere near the village. The man and the ogre were saddened that the villagers did not welcome them. But they were happy just to have each other, and then they settled quietly in a cave on the mountain. There's only one villager who pitied the two travelers, the villager mask maker. Or the village mask maker. He made several masks for the man and the ogre. The masks are brilliant works adorned with gems that the man brought from somewhere far away. By wearing these masks, the travelers could hide their true faces and mingle with the villagers. The man and the ogre were overjoyed. They thanked the mask maker for his kindness. Also interesting that it's just cobblestone for Ogre Pond. Wearing the mask, the man and the ogre started secretly joining the village festival. Mysterious parents soon became the talk of the village because of their brilliant masks. In fact, rumors about them quickly spread far and wide, even to distant lands. The rumors of exquisite shining masks attract more than just innocent curiosity. A group of greedy Pokemon soon made their way to the land of Kitakami. These Pokemon sneaked into the cave which the man and the ogre lived. And tried to make off with the masks, which were carefully stored away. The man happened to be there. He managed to hold on to one of the masks, but he was not strong enough to protect them all. The Pokemon stole the other three masks. Several hours later, when the ogre returned to the cave, it found its beloved home in ruin. All that was left were the signs of a struggle and a teal mask. The ogre donned the mask and went down to the villages, perhaps to search for its friend. They found the greedy Pokemon there, gloating over their stolen masks, and defeated them. So during the conflict is when they died? The villagers, of course, had no idea what was happening nor why. All they saw was the raging ogre, and they felt great fear. The villagers thought the three Pokemon had fought trying to protect the village from the ogre. To honor the sacrifice, the villagers named them the Loyal Three, and them. When weak, the ogre returned to its cave alone with great sadness. You gotta watch the Petron POV too. I mean, we can watch that as well. Yeah, no, that would be helpful to have. Yeah, thank you for saying that. We'll watch that afterwards. Ogre Pond didn't deserve that, and the Loyal Three, they're the worst. So they're called the Loyal Three because of a misconception. Sorry, everyone's been told. They reveal. God, that's. This is a topic. Jeez, I'm never expecting Pokemon to cover something like this. That he was persecuted as a heretic. Oh my god. I'm assuming Kiki is the. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, but. Scarlet Violet some cool stuff, but mostly behind endgames and DLC. No, it's true. I love Scarlet Violet endgame, like 100%. But okay, so the loyal three are just assholes. And so in the conflict, I'm assuming that where it talks about like, protecting the one mask is where Ogerpon's like trainer died. Okay. And of course he overheard. Okay, there's this many more. So Ogerpon again. Okay, hold on. Let me get this other video up real fast. And Harson, the Pecharunt story. There's also a 5-minute video. Hold on. I apologize that we're taking a detour for these. You found out the story finished? Oh, well. Under this video, okay, that's actually good to know. What's it here?
The tale you are about to hear has never been told in the land of Kitakami. The tale of the mythical Pokémon, Pecharunt.
Okay, so this is an unknown story about Pecharunt.
Long, long ago, in a faraway land,
let me know how audio is, by the way.
Man and an old woman. Having no children of their own, they instead cared for a small, timid Pokémon named Pecharunt, and they loved it dearly. Pecharunt, seeking more of their affection, used the poison in its body to fashion special mochi.
Yeah, I heard about the mochi.
Which it served to them. The couple was immediately enthralled by the flavor of these delectable mochi. Or rather, put under the thrall of Pecharunt.
Audio was good? Okay, cool.
These binding mochi seemed to draw out the greed of anyone who ate them. Before long, the couple began hounding Pecharunt with requests for this, that, and every other little thing. They'll love me even more if I grant their wishes, it thought. So it used more binding mochi to tame a Pokémon, and had it deliver the gifts to the couple the next morning. Thus did their love for Pecharunt grow and grow. Then, one day, the old couple requested something peculiar. A brilliant set of masks which were rumored to exist in the land of Kitakami. Pecharunt, who had long grown tired of the same old requests, set off excitedly for the land of Kitakami, eager to retrieve the masks and grant the couple's wish. Every adventurer needs companions. So Pecharunt left the village with Okidogi, the retainer it had tamed with the power of its poison. But one companion wasn't enough. On the road, the two met Monkey Dory. This Pokémon had the power to see into the near future. It simply had to be made a retainer. Yet Pecharunt still worried, so it found a third companion, Pheasantipity, which could expel mesmerizing pheromones. Only then did Petulant feel safe. Thus did their journey finally begin.
Interesting.
They crossed fields, mountains, and seas until
I like how they're
Petulant
just...
and its
Okay,
retainers
that's cute.
arrived in the land of Kitakami. Amid the sound of festive drums and flutes, standing amongst the merry revelers, they saw two figures donning glittering masks, Ogre Pond and its human partner. Petulant proceeded with caution. First, it had Monkey Dory track down where the two lived. Then, while Ogre Pond and the man were away, it had Okie Dokie and Pheasantipity sneak into the den to quietly steal the masks. Just as they were about to return to Petulant, the man appeared. He rushed at the intruders, who had no choice but to fight back. But the man could only muster the strength to protect a single mask. And the thieving Pokémon made off with the remaining 3 in hand. At last, the glittering masks belonged to Petulant. Now they'll love me even more, it thought. But its joy was fleeting. For the enraged Ogre Pond was upon them. Panicked, Petulant ordered its retainers to stand in its defense. Pheasantipity deployed its beguiling pheromones. Monkey Dory used its foresight to predict Ogre Pond's attacks. And Okie Dokie tried to finish the fight with its raw might. But none of them could stop Ogre Pond's terrifying advance.
Yeah, Ogre Pond wasn't having shit.
As Ogre Pond drew near, Petulant trembled. It knew its fate was sealed. The masks, its companions, its happy life, Petulant had lost them all. As it was sent careening through the air, it mustered the last of its strength to withdraw into its shell. On and on it rolled, until it finally came to a rest, somewhere in the forest. Perhaps it rests there still, waiting to be awakened, so it can finally grant the old couple's wish.
Huh. Well, thank you for the education. I learned something today. Cool. Let's hear it. See, the moral of the story is the greed of old people's poison is the poison killing your society. I mean, that's not incorrect, I guess. Imagine having the type advantage in a 4v when it's still losing. Ogre Pond is so good. Dude, Ogre Pond's a menace. What inedible group of poison types or wild little grass scale. And Petra was a free update to the DLC after we got. I knew Petra was free, but okay, okay, so now I can rank these four a little better, because all I really had was TCG knowledge. And, like, my thoughts on their design. Okay, so I feel like let's see here. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they also got fed the mochi, so it's not like at least their entire fault, right? Like, I'm not gonna completely fault the Loyal 3. If anything, I want to blame this little bastard, even though he just wanted to make the couple happy, but he also fucked this whole situation up. Yeah, I think, you know what, okay. I'll move Monkey, or Okie Dokie up slightly. Yeah, I think that's fine. Monkey Dory. Low places because they needed media to boost their image. To be fair, I also never played the DLC, so I couldn't have learned the story. Also, I have commented that media does affect how a Pokemon, like, does place on here, like, i.e. Crobat, where, like, some of the games, like, literally Crobat's my perfect example of this, where it's, like, some of the games make Crobat look super cool, but, like, some, like, Stadium and all that, where it's, like, his buck-ass teeth make it look so ugly, and I hate Crobat in that media, so I feel like it's fair to include the media influence. And it's basically told from the perspective of Petra to make them seem more sympathetic. The little fuck is a demon. I mean, you're not entirely wrong. I hold less, like, angst against, like, the Loyal 3, I would say, at least. But, Monkey Dory. So, Monkey Dory, for people who don't know, similar to Badu, is also a war criminal in the TCG. And to show you what I mean... Hold on. Let me find... The good Monkey Dory. Yeah, okay. Here's the good Monkey Dory card, okay? This thing is a menace to society in the TCG. Like, every deck runs this stupid thing. And you run Dark Energy just for the ability to. So basically, just once per turn, for each copy of this, by the way, with the Dark Energy, you just move 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to an opponent's Pokemon. So you're just doing like an extra, like, anywhere from like an extra 30 to an extra 90 damage. And that's not your attack, by the way. That's just an ability. And you get 5 mons on the bench for TCG, so this thing can just rack up damage real quick. And again, every deck runs Dark Energy specifically for Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory is actually the So with that in mind, I don't love the design. It's probably my least favorite design out of these 3. So I think for that reason, like, I don't love Monkey Dory's design. Yeah. Monkey Dory shaped like a mighty bean pushed down a ramp, Jesus. And then Pheasantipity. I actually think Pheasantipity has a really cool design. I don't know why. There's also like now like a lot of like birds, quote unquote, for poison. So I think that like Pheasantipity actually is like a pretty cool design. I like it. Fuck, I think I like it so much. I might argue with Pen and Egg. Pheasantipity or all males is a gender convention breaking from... Wait, are all Pheasantipity male? Is that actually true? Based on the Loyal 3 are all male. I did not know that. But today I learned. Huh. And then Pecharon. See, I knew like about the mochi thing with Pecharon, because I will say I have seen certain art with the mochi, and I'm like, oh, I should not have seen that. The Pecharon in specific, I don't know. I don't like hear it talked about a lot as much. Like outside of like, if you're an Ogerpon fan, you hate this thing. I get that the story is probably told to make it seem more sympathetic, but also it kind of fucked its own situation a little bit by feeding the old couple the mochi. But I don't hate the design either. But it doesn't feel like it should be a Pokemon that like is special. So I feel for that purpose, it's probably like somewhere around here. Something like this. It's okay. Like I said, Pheasantipity is cool. I don't like Monkey Dory's design, even though I appreciate it from the TCG as a partial TCG player. Also, Pheasantipity is really good in the TCG, by the way, but you only ever play one. And then Okidogi and Pecharon, I think, are fine. Yeah. And again, that's from me never playing the DLC myself. I just never bought it. Not that I didn't want to, I just never did. Because, so much has been going on, so I haven't played like been playing a lot of games myself lately. But yeah, I think that's fair for news. Now that we're back on track, I guess, and past the story time. You know what? Let's cover, I guess, other special poisons as well. Let's do the what, like the poison Ultra Beast of Poipole and Naganadel. See, Poipole almost feels like what Pecharunt should have been. I do like Poipole's design. He's little guy energy. That's what I was trying to remember the name of. Oh, Poipole and Naganadel. Yeah, no, I like these two. I think Poipole. Also, I guess unrelated, I never realized that Poipole was supposed to be purple. Right, that's like what the name is like making fun of. This little guy, just a little fella. Yeah, exactly. He's little guy energy, and I like that about him. I don't think he's like as good of little guy energy as like Venonat, Bulbasaur, Gulpin, or Purdue, but he's still like very good little guy energy. I think he deserves a fairly respectable placing. And then Poipole, not Poipole, Naganadel, I think is just really cool. I like Naganadel a lot. I think this is a very, very cool Pokemon. Pretty good for an alien. You don't have to word it like that. Doesn't Ash get a Poipole? Wasn't the other kid? Ash gets a Naganadel. Actually, like he starts with the Poipole, because like it's during the Ultra Beast arc, but it does eventually evolve into Naganadel. It goes away for a while, but it comes back to fight Tapu Koko. Now Ash had a like half very stacked team for Alola, and then the other half of his team was like, "What are you doing?" Because like he had Naganadel and Melmetal, but then he also had Rowlet. That's proportion switch around when it evolves. I like that too. Yeah. Like the head becomes the admin. But I also remember like isn't it like Naganadel's like brain actually in its lower abdomen, if I remember right? I think I remember something about that. Now his Kalos and Alolan teams like were actually like both insane. So I remember something about that. Like I think I remember it's like the head of like Naganadel, quote unquote, is just actually like a decoy, and its brain is like actually in the abdomen. I remember something to that effect, or something's like weird between like where like the brain is and all that between those two. God, I'm gonna eat, but I have to get there's not much of its dex entries at all. I mean, that makes sense, Ultra Beast and all that. I remember something to that effect, but I could be crazy. By the way, it doesn't matter. Either way, Naganadel's cool. I think Poipole's good little guy energy. I like his little guy energy. What else do we cover? Snack. You know what? We'll do the snacks. We'll do both snacks. How about that? So econs, as I always like to call it, and then Survivor as well. Yeah, Ekans, Arbok, and then Survivor. I'm also including Survivor just because, even though I know the meme of what does Arbok evolve into? If you said Survivor, you were right. Which I think is the funniest, or one of the funniest English mess ups ever from the anime. But I think it's Ekans, Arbok, Survivor. How about Pokédex number 69 after this next? I do not remember which one is number 69. Which... Oh, Bellsprout. I did not actually know Bellsprout was number 69. Okay. Sure, we'll do Bellsprout after the snakes. But let's see here. So, Ekans, Arbok, Survivor. Ekans also gets bullied in school for being in the Naruto before it became mainstream. Dude, Atkins got bullied all the time in the anime. Like, it was just always Atkins. Like, even, like, coughing did not get bullied as much as Atkins did. Atkins was, like, the brunt force of, like, all the bullying in Team Rocket, it felt like, at least in the early days. And I kind of agree with it. Like, Atkins just feels like... Like, Atkins feels like if you had... like a superhero baby that didn't realize that Atkins was a poison snake and just thought it was a toy, would just start like playing with it, like flailing it over its head. It's like Atkins' head like keeps crashing into the ground on like both sides, just like its arm, like the baby's arm going like back and forth, and Atkins just having a terrible time. That's what Atkins feels like to me. Atkins feels like it's just like hurting. But I do still kind of like how goofy Atkins is. Arbok, though. I like Arbok. I actually do like Arbok a lot. I think when Arbok like gets to be played with in terms of like its design is really cool. I like love how like even like in some of the games I think like Fire Red, Leaf Green did it a little bit, or like specifically third gen in general. Like played it a lot with like the pattern on I don't want to say mane, I don't know what it's called on a snake, but like it's like mantle, like how it played a lot with the design, giving it like different designs. I think that's very cool. Like, TCG did it. I think third gen was the game that did a lot too, or the games that did a lot. I think Arbok's actually cool, like when it can be played with. I think the Arbok is like a perfect example of a Pokemon that could get a regional form. I think Arbok deserves some love, and in fact, hold on, I want to move Pheasantipity up a bit. And I actually want to put Arbok in here as well. I think Arbok is cool. And I'm not a snake person, by the way, but I think Arbok, like, is a Pokemon that does very well. And then Seviper. I don't know, Seviper just misses. Like, it's cool, and I feel like it could have been, like, a cool, like, Evo 2 Arbok or just, like, some regional variant or something like that, but Seviper just kind of misses to me. I'm more of a Zangoose fan anyways, though. But I feel like... probably like that. I don't know, it's just okay. It's a little bit of a miss. I think the mask is actually... like, the headpiece, I guess if anyone thought that was, like, the coolest part of Seviper, but it's still just kind of too much of a miss. Then Lena said Bellsprout. Bellsprout's little guy energy. I like Bellsprout. I would put Bellsprout probably around here. Weepin' Bell, I think, is just kind of about the same. He's just derpy little guy energy. But he's like a slightly bigger guy. Then Victory Bell. I think Victory Bell is also like I'm actually sad we did not get like a Alolan Victory Bell. I think Alolan Victory Bell would have been like a perfect regional, like a perfect Mod 4 regional variant. I think you could have done some really cool stuff with Alolan Victory Bell. I still like Victory Bell though. I think it's still kind of neat. I'm trying to think where I want to put it. Bolin scares me. I mean, I also can't help but look at Weepin' Bell and always remember how people... like, Weepin' Bell is the mod that told me what DSLs meant. And I hate that, but I always like just associate Weepin' Bell now whenever I hear the term DSLs. DMD about DSLs. Like, I was talking with like friends, like I think it was like back in high school or college, one of the two, and like the term just came up, and I was like, and my friends were just like, yeah, we've got them DSLs. And I was like, what are you talking about? You got DSLs? Dick sucking lips. That is what DSL stands for. And Weepin' Bell was literally the Pokemon that like mid-conversation I learned about that. And I'm like, oh, I can't look at this mon the same way ever again. But yeah, no, Weepin' Bell was how I learned about DSLs. But no, I think Victory Bell is pretty cool. I actually like Victory Bell. Especially if I look at more than... I can't unsee it now, thanks. No problem. Don't worry, it was the same for me. Actually, no, I think... Nah, no, I like Venus one more. Yeah. Probably like that. Also, actually, no, I like Bellsprout a little more. No, Weepin' Bell is the one that educated me on that term, because as soon as they like brought it up, I was like, ah, I understand what you mean now. Trying to think, what else do we want to ring? We're approaching it. The end. I think Victory Bell, like I said, is a Pokemon. Bellsprout, I think it's a good base of it. I think the entire Evo line is very good. I just wish they did like an Alolan variant of it. You know what? I thought they'll have the lip injections. I mean, that's usually associated with DSLs, so you're still not off the beaten path. But anyway, Stunky and Skuntank. I just don't like these Pokemon. Lucario's poison. I mean, it makes sense. It exhausts fumes. You know, not exactly environmentally friendly. To be fair, I always forget that line is part poison. But, I'm gonna be real. I think Stunky is kind of in that boat, and I kind of don't like Skuntank either. I think this is... No, I would not put Stunky in the same. It's close. Yeah. Yeah, I think like that. That's probably about accurate. I don't know. I don't care for the skunks. I feel like they're, like... It's weird, right? Because I'm like... They feel like perfect animals, like, to be, like... For, like, an example of a poison type, but I just don't like them. I think it's just the bud face is the part I don't like. I just don't like their bud faces. You know what? Now I mentioned the car. Let's just do the car. And I'm gonna be real with you on the car. I forget these are Pokemon. I keep thinking this is just like similar to like the movie theater bosses in Black and White 2, where it's just like a thing that you can fight that's like quote unquote a Pokemon, but not actually a Pokemon. I don't remember these things ever existing. I remember this thing though, at least somewhat more, but yeah, I never remember the car. Just not a Pokemon I ever think about. No, it's just like the next time. Okay. Yeah. It's like it's a car I forget about. What else can we do? I don't know, is there anything you really want me to ring chat, or do I just start like running down the list and try and finish it off? Big ol' hand? What do you mean big ol' hand? Do you mean Eternatus? That's the only thing that remotely looks like a hand. Yeah, okay, Eternatus. I need to look up Gigantamax Eternatus. Because I've never super looked at this thing's design. Wow, Go made this thing look a lot cooler than it actually does. Got it. Da, 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 da. Forgive me, there are some personal things on that, so I actually will need to delete this VOD. And this VOD will be edited on the YouTube channel, so I apologize, but that was actually important. You guys should not see that. We haven't discussed Pokemon yet. That's crazy. I mean, we'll get there. But it's Eternatus. I think the Gigantamax is dumb. Like, the more I look at it, it's just dumb. I don't get how you go from a cool Pokemon like Eternatus to the stupid hand. So I think for that reason, it's kind of mid. Like, it's okay. Yeah, that Eternatus stuff is cool. I actually really like Eternatus. I think this design is actually sick for a legendary Pokemon. Like, this feels very appropriate for like a powerhouse. In fact, to a point, I almost want to put it in S, but I will put it in A for the time being. I apologize to people who maybe want to watch this on Twitch later. You'll have to wait until I re-edit this for YouTube and cut that very small portion out. And gosh, I have to actually cut the portion out. I have to edit a VOD. I hate doing that. But I'm assuming by sus Pokemon, do you mean Tentacool, Luna? Is that the one you're referring to, Tentacool and Tentacruel? Oh, no, you said sus. I'm stupid. Fungus and Amoongus. Duh. Fungus? He's a little guy. I like the little guy. I think he's a fine little guy. And then Amoongus, you know, I want to just name reasons why I hate Amoongus, but there's too many reasons why I have to give Amoongus praise, right? Like, the design's unique. It's such a historically phenomenal Pokemon. It's a transgender ally. Like, how can you not love Amoongus? Like, it's like the guy that's like, you shouldn't like him, but every time you try and find something wrong, you can't, and you learn something more that you like about him. And that's just kind of how I feel about Amoongus. You know what? Yeah, I don't want to give this to Amoongus, but I just like there's too many good things about Amoongus that I can't not give it the S tier. And you know what? S for sus. The star is just a line for this thing. Anyways, now we'll go with what I mistakenly thought you meant by sus. Sus in different ways. Sumi Dragon. We'll do Dragalge after, or Scrub and Dragalge after. Tentacool and Tentacool. How about that? So Tentacool, it's okay. I mean, it's a jellyfish. I like it. Actually, I kind of like it more than the Reimer, I'd say. Try not to like organize specifically within the tiers. And then Tentacruel, I actually like. I know it's like the Pokemon is like, oh my god, Tentacruel, yada yada. I see it all the time. It's annoying in all the games, but I like Tentacruel. I think Tentacruel is actually very cool. In fact, so much so, I think it's an A tier, unironically. Yeah, I like Tentacruel. I think it's like, it's basic, but it's good. It's cool. I think the design is very unique. It could be another Pokemon that like could easily get a regional variant and multiple regional variants just because it's just a jellyfish. I think it's a unique Pokemon. And then Skrelp and Dragalge. What do I think about these two? I think Skrelp's cute. Kind of on the lower end of little guy tier. Actually, you know, I should... Yeah, I agree with that, yeah. I think Skrelp being B is fine. Dragalge, like... It's a cool concept, but I feel like it just kind of misses the mark, because I don't really feel like the algae feel on it. Like, it's not bad, but... I feel like it's actually the top of C tier. I don't know, I really, like, I don't hate it, but, like, it doesn't feel special in any way. I forget this thing's part dragon, I'll be real with you. Like, and it's weird typing, I feel like, for a seaweed dragon, like, based on algae. Like, I don't know. I don't hate it, I don't love it. But it's just okay. Dang, we're actually almost done. I didn't realize we have, like, 3 Evo lines left to cover. You know what, we're gonna just go down the regions, I guess. So we'll do Oddish, Gloom, Vileplume. So Oddish is, again, little guy tier. I like Oddish a lot. Gloom... It's not that it's bad, but I also feel like it's weird and, like... Which, granted, they designed Blossom after designing Gloom. But I don't super love Gloom either. Like, Gloom's okay. Where do I put Gloom? Vileplume, though, I actually like a lot. I actually really like Vileplume a good bit. Like, I think, like, the idea of just a Reflection Flower is really cool. This is another... I know I'm saying, like, give a lot of these poison / grass types a lot of Alolan forms. Like, it's another one I feel like I could have done it very well. Or, like, in future generations, you could easily get, like, this kind of form. Arguably, you could have even done, like, what, Gigantamax Venusaur is on Blossom. I feel like that would have worked really well. And then Croagunk and Toxicroak. I don't know, I just don't care for them. More so Toxicroak. I think Toxicroak's kind of whatever. Like, I feel like the idea is cool, just it part way feels like it misses the mark. But I still like it more than it is. And then Croagunk's kind of the same boat. I don't know, like, they're not bad. They work for what they are, but I just don't care for them. And then these two. Marini and Toxapex. What do I think about these two? I have to say Toxapex for last. I absolutely have to. Like probably one of the most impactful poison types in Pokemon history is right here. Like, this is a toxic type that matters, or poison type that matters. You know what, actually? I think Marini goes down here, but it's like the top of here. These lovely so cute. I don't like Marini. Actually, nah, Marini's not U. Marini's not an U tier. I thought about it for a second, yeah. Marini goes in D. I don't know. I mean, like, it gets some points because I actually did like Marini a lot in the anime. But not enough, I think, to carry it further compared to a lot of other Pokemon. Actually, you know what? I'll give it this. I'll give it that much. Toxapex, though, I actually like a lot. I think Toxapex is a very, very cool Pokemon. As long as it's not U tier. Yeah, don't worry. I thought about putting Marini in U tier, but it's not U tier. But I think Toxapex is cool. I know it's like a bitch and a half. Probably like one of the most influential poison types to ever be in the science space of Pokemon balancing. I think it deserves A. I realistically think as well that I'm going to put it here. Where else do I want to put it? Yeah, that does it. That's all of our poison types. Let's go ahead and do a quick sweep through for placing real fast. Because I have to decide on double S. Actually, it needs to move down. This may not be 100% accurate, but I feel like this is generally kind of how I want to rank them. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Actually, you know, I want to go down. Same as Viper, actually. And yeah, I think for the most part, this is more or less our final tier list. I think this covers it pretty well. I really can't think of much else I want to say at this point for the poison types. I think we're good. I think this is the final tier list, the final ring around. Yeah, I like it. And like I said, I will be uploading this onto all my social media, so it'll be Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, maybe Insta too? Which, by the way, I do have an Instagram now, but if you want to find the social media platform where I post, we'll probably post this, there you go. Yeah, I think that's going to cover it for tonight. I think that's everything. Yeah, so I need to go eat, I'm getting hungry. And I also have to get up early-ish tomorrow, as I have to help finish cleaning up the house, so there won't be a stream tomorrow. But yeah, that's it for me, so with that... Okay, actually, hold on. I can mute the Melty Blood music. There we go. Anyways, with that, I'm ending the stream. Thank you guys very much for watching tonight's stream. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you didn't have it already, please hit the follow button. It really helps me out a lot more, you guys know. If you want to financially support me in the stream, all the goodies, please consider subbing, gifting a sub, donating, all that other fun stuff. Or potential gifts on the throne. But again, please don't spend what you don't have. Focus on your own lives first. If you want to hop in the Discord, there's a link to that for you. And once again, please follow me on social medias. I'll be posting this list there, along with other stuff, yada yada. But that's it for me. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome, fantastic. Love and appreciate each and every single one of you. And I will chat with you guys later. So, with that, bye for now, friends, and I will be back hopefully Friday. It was either Friday or Wednesday. I think I said this was my next stream was. It might have been Wednesday. Yes, I will be back Wednesday for sure. Friday is kind of a maybe if my Nintendo Switch 2 dock does work or not. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you all very much. I'll chat with you guys later. Is anybody streaming? Let's see here. There's Sam and Rain. You know, let's raid Ranston real fast. So yeah, I mean I see Sam and well they're both streaming. And I know Ranson's been pushing out content a bit lately, so I'm going to give him some support. Stick around for the raid. After that, you guys are fine to go. You also get some extra channel points if you stick around for the raid, by the way. Hint, hint, wink, wink. There is a feature being worked on that will eventually need some more channel points that I think you guys will very much enjoy. But yeah, anyways, thank you all very much. I'll chat with you guys later. Goodbye, friends!